Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we are going to see about the election of a president. So, president was elected by the electoral college, which consists of. So, it was elected by the electoral college, which consists of elected members. So, elected members of both the houses of a parliament. We know the both houses of a parliament, which is a Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So, elected members of a Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha can be participate in the presidential election. Then, elected members of a legislative assemblies of a states. Okay, we know that the state legislature consists of two hours. One is a state legislative assembly and then legislative council. All the states will have a legislative assembly, but not all the states will have a legislative council. Only few states will have a legislative council. So the elected members of a legislative assemblies of a states can be participated in a presidential election. Next, elected members of a legislative assemblies of Union Territory of Delhi and Puducherry. So the elected members of legislative assemblies of Union Territory of Delhi and Puducherry can also be participated in the presidential election. So these two union territories was included by a 70th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. In future may also any union territory will be included in this list. Okay, it depends upon the situation. Now according to the 17th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992, only Delhi and Puducherry is a part of a electoral college in the election of a president. Okay, this is an important thing that should be remembered, that should be noted. Who are all cannot able to participate in a presidential election? Okay, here nominated members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, legislative assemblies of states, nominated members of legislative assemblies of Union Territories of Delhi and Puducherry. So, and both the elected and nominated members of a legislative council of a states will not participate in the election. So, the nominated members of both the houses of a parliament and both the houses of a state legislature will not participate in a presidential election. The nominated member of a legislative assembly of a Union Territory of Delhi and Puducherry cannot able to participate in the election. Only the elected members will participate in a presidential election. The important thing noted here is that here both the elected and nominated members of legislative council. We already seen that elected members of a legislative assembly can able to participate in the presidential election, but nominated members of a legislative assembly cannot able to participate in the election. But when we come to the legislative council, both the elected and nominated members cannot able to participate in the presidential election. So no members from a legislative council, no members will participate in the presidential election. Okay, so this is the electoral college. Only these persons will be participated. These persons cannot able to participate in the presidential election. Now we are going to see about a value of a vote of a MLA and the value of a vote of a MP. So as already seen, an MLA, elected member of a legislative assembly of a state, and the elected member of a parliament will take part in the election process. Okay, we have already seen about that. So what is the value of their vote? Their votes have a certain value. Okay, so what is the value for a such vote? Okay, we are going to see about it. So the value of a vote of a MLA, member of a legislative assembly, is equal to total population of a state. So the total population of a which state he belongs to, from which state he comes or from which state assembly he comes from. So the population of such a state divided by number of elected members in a legislative assembly. So number of elected members in that particular state legislative assembly. Okay, it may be any state, and that particular state legislative assembly, number of elected members of a legislative assembly Take for example, if you take a Maharashtra, so Maharashtra, the value vote of a MLA, the value of a MLA in the voting process is that if he belongs to Maharashtra, then total population of a Maharashtra divided by total number of elected members in a Maharashtra Legislative Assembly into 1000 will be his value. Okay, so this is just an example. Okay, so we are going to see about another example regarding this in a calculation manner. Okay, so take any state, it may be any state. This is just only for a example, it is not a real fact. Okay, it is a example purpose. For easy calculation only I put these numbers. So take any state A, it may be A. So suppose the state is having the population of 1 crore. If a state is having a population of 1 crore, number of elected members in particular state legislative assembly is 100 into 1000. So if we divide this, the value will come is 100. So the value of such a state legislative assembly member of a particular state A is 100. So this is just an example. Now we are going to see about a value vote of a MP, member of a parliament. He may come from a legislative assembly, or he may come from a Lok Sabha, or he may come from a Rajya Sabha. What is his value? We are going to calculate it. Total votes assigned to all the MLAs of all the states. So this is the value of a one particular MLA of a particular state. In India, there is a various states, and there will be a numerous MLAs, elected MLAs. So all the value are added. We are doing addition of all the value of a value vote of all the MLAs of all the state. Okay, so entire India value of all the MLAs will be added together, then divided by total elected members of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, which is nothing but a parliament. So how many total elected members in a Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha will be added? Then if you divide this, then that will be the value of a vote of a member of a parliament. Take for example, if all the value of a vote of all the MLAs of all the states were added together, if it is this is just for the example purpose only. Okay, if it was 73 lakhs, the total number of elected members of parliament, take for example, this is just an example, 730. Okay, if you divide this, 10,000 will come, then it will be the value of a vote of a member of a parliament. Then electoral quota. So for the person to be elected as a president, he must need to have a particular quota of a votes. Okay, minimum number of a votes he should need to have to become a president. So there is also a formula for that. Total value votes polled. So how many total valid number of votes polled divided by number of candidates standing in that particular presidential election plus 1. Then whenever it comes, again whatever the value comes, added with the 1 will be the quota. Okay, so what is the manner of a presidential election is that proportional representation. By means of single transferable vote. So proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote. This is the method of election of a president. In a MP election, in a MLA election, we people all vote in a MP and a MLA election. For that process, what method is used is the first past the post. What does it mean is that the person who comes first in the list will become a elected. But here the first past the post method is not used. Here, the proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote method was used for a presidential election for the purpose of he was a representative of entire India. So the entire all the categories of the people must need to have a representation in his election. So this method will give a proper proportion to all the categories of the people from all the states. That's why this method was used in the presidential election. So what will happen in this process of a method is that the persons who is going to participate in a presidential election, who is nothing but a MPs and the elected MPs and elected MLAs are going to participate in a presidential election, as already said. They will be given order of a preference. For example, if four members stand in a presidential election, then there will be a 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 numbers will be given in a ballot paper. So you will write, you will select candidates according to its preference. Okay, if a 4 person standing in an election and the ballot paper was given to MP or MLA, okay, from that 4 person, you will select the first person for a some person for a first preference, and another person for a second preference, and another person for a third preference, and the fourth preference. Okay, so the different MLA and MP will select a different persons for these preferences. Okay, so by adding all this, by the first instance, if any person from these 4 members will get this electoral quota, he will be elected as a president. If any person cannot, if all the person cannot able to get this electoral quota, then the process will continue again. What will happen is that the person who get the least number of first preference from this 4 person, who will get a least number of least number of first preference will be eliminated. And the process comes with the 3 members only. So the process will continue until the person gets an electoral quota. So this is what is the method of a proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote. We are going to see about the detail in the upcoming videos. First, this is just an example. We are going to see about in the upcoming videos. So this is what the election process of a president and its process. Okay, thank you.